Welcome to Arcade Labs. Today we're heading into Seattle to pick up a Crazy Climber cocktail game. We're driving in from the east side and taking the bridge over to Seattle. The seller lives in the Green Lake area, and fortunately the traffic is not bad right now. The seller is a nice gentleman named Terry who has several games listed for sale on Craigslist. You can see the Crazy Climber game here in his garage just to the right of the pinball machine. He listed the game for $800 but decided to sell it to me for only $600 after I arrived. We got the game loaded up in the back of my Jeep and we are ready to head back. Alright, we're back at the game room and we've unloaded the Crazy Climber game. Before we turn it on, let's just take a look at the cabinet and see what kind of condition it's in. Looks like we're missing the lock here on this side. Overall, the cabinet seems to be in pretty decent shape. The control panel overlay here is in nice shape. I see we've got a chip out of the cabinet here below the coin box. Let's take a look at the glass on top. Glass is not in bad shape. It seems like there's some drink marks in several locations here and something spilled. We'll have to see if we can wash that and get that off. The instruction cards under the glass look good. Looks like we're missing the lock on this side too. This cabinet feels a little bit wobbly. We might be able to fix that by just tightening up some of these bolts. All right, let's open it up and take a look inside. Let's see, flip that up. Overall, the cabinet looks pretty clean inside. I don't see any signs of rodents or anything else like that. Let's see what we've got here. Looks like we have a photocopied version of the service manual. So over here we've got the main boards. They look like they're in good shape. This looks like something someone added to get some extra cooling on the main boards. Monitor looks good. So over here, this is where the power supply normally is. This is not the original. This looks like a switching power supply that has been swapped out. Okay, so this is going to be an issue. The speaker here, the cone is collapsed in, but that's something we can pretty easily replace. Coin mechanism looks like it's probably functional. The seller mentioned that he put a new monitor in this game. He actually gave me a box with the old monitor and some parts. I can't tell just by looking at it at this angle what kind of a monitor this is. Actually, down there, I see that's like a modern video converter board. So whatever the output of this main board is must not have been compatible with this monitor. So that must be doing video conversion. We'll have to take a look at that. All right, let's power up the game and see what happens. I did verify the game was working at the seller's house, so hopefully we're still in a good state here. All right, so now we got power. Let's close this up. And looks like we're good. Let's go ahead and start a game. Crazy Climber was made by a Japanese company named Nichibushi in 1980. There's also a version of the game made by Taito, but what we have here is the Nichibushi version. Crazy Climber is a vertical scrolling game where you control the player as he climbs up the outside of a skyscraper. You control the player with two joysticks, which correspond to the player's hands. You have to move the joysticks in opposite directions, up and down, to make the player ascend up the building. You can also move the sticks left and right to make the player move sideways. If you make it to the top of the building, there will be a helicopter there waiting to take you to the next level. The seller gave me a couple boxes of spare parts, so let's take a look and see what we've got here. Let's take a look at what we have in this first box. I think this is labeled 13-inch monitor. Yep, and as expected, we have a monitor. Let's see what we have here. This looks like the flyback and the neck board. I don't see the monitor assembly in here, so maybe that's in the other box. I'm not going to take this out. I assume that the flyback was probably bad. This tube might still be serviceable. Let's see what we have in this box. This one's labeled chassis boards, power supply. All right, let's see what we've got in here. All right, this looks like the monitor board. Interesting. And, we have a second one. I wonder why he had two of these. These actually look like they're in okay shape. It looks like some things have been replaced. And what else do we have in here? This looks like a bag of old parts. All right. Looks like we have another bag of old spare parts. All right, I've emptied all these bags into a bin so we can take a look at what we have. For the most part, it looks like we just have all of the spare parts from when someone did a cap kit. Mostly capacitors. A few of these look kind of toasty. Not sure why they kept all these. These bolts, this might actually go in the stand. This might be why the stand is a little bit wobbly. I'll have to set those aside. And a power transistor. Some of these spare parts are kind of concerning, like why these didn't stay with the cabinet, but I think they replaced the power supply, so some of these might have been holding that in. All right, we got one more thing to check out in this box. Wow, that's heavy. Well, this looks like the power supply that was taken out of the game. Actually looks like it's in decent shape. I wonder what was wrong with it, why they had to replace it. It's a nice transformer there. Well, that's it for what was in these boxes. I don't know that anything here is going to be immediately useful, but I will keep this stuff on hand for possibly spare parts. Overall, I'm pretty happy with the game and its condition. There's a few cosmetic things that I'll need to work on, such as cleaning up the glass, installing locks, and making a few monitor adjustments. Well, I think that's about it for this pickup video. Thanks for coming along, and I hope to see you on the next one.